I'll just give you this quick fill-in if you've never done it before. It has 4 components to it. So yoga practice, meditation, inquiry is our third practice and technique that maybe you don't always know is going on, and that's just an opportunity for self-discovery. And then finally, we really support a whole nutritional transformation in this program. There are recipes, shopping lists, so many things. So it would be great to have you from home virtually or right here in the studio on Wednesdays. The program's at 7 p.m. It's 1 hour, and I'll be the teacher, virtually or in person. And then there are 5 spots left in our Himalayan retreat, so if you're interested in that, those are just going quickly, so get yourself signed up if you're interested. Other than that, let's get started. Come into child's pose. So we've got a few of you here for the first time. Lots of you are total regulars, and no matter what, we'll each be able to customize our practice and just make it our own, whether you're at home or you're right here in the studio. So start by taking a deep breath in, and then a sigh out. Do that as many times as you need to be able to just settle here in your body, in this space. I always find that this first breath or 2 breaths is like the best feeling of the whole day. Then begin your Ujjayi breathing. So it's slow, steady, deep, and rhythmic. The same feeling you just felt in your throat. But now you close your mouth, all the breath moving in and out of your nostrils, but still that same sense of moving breath from the back of your throat. And then while you breathe here, put your attention on your ribs and just be aware of and in wonder of your ribs as they expand and relax as you breathe. On your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog. So that upside down letter V-shaped body. Get into the shape and start to explore the skin you're in. Bend and straighten your knees. And even while you're doing that, do it to the rhythm of your breath. You might take another breath and have another sigh several times until you're able to just drop the weight of your head and let your neck belong here in downward facing dog. Now get your breath flowing until you can hear yourself, until you know your neighbor can hear you breathing. And then while you do that and your body's warming up a little bit more, lengthen the base of the pose by stepping your feet back another footstep. In fact, go back another footstep until you feel from your palm up the inside of your arm through your armpit to your hip crease, a stretching there. Different from just feeling it on the back of your body, feel it on the belly side of your body. If you don't feel it, take 1 more step back. Then in this pose, take a deep inhale. And exhale, look forward and step to the front of your mat. When you get to the front, lift up halfway and just stay right here and breathe with your palms pressing against your thigh bones and the crown of your head reaching opposite of the pressure you're putting back on your thigh bones. Take a few breaths here to breathe, and while you're doing it, you can just move your arm bones and your shoulders to the back of your body, toward the ceiling. You'll feel a broadening across your collarbones. Now keep breathing here. Keep your breath flowing and your gaze on one point, and then watch this happen in your body. While you're breathing, press the knuckle of your big toe down into the ground. Press all 4 corners of your feet down into the ground until you begin to notice that the pit of your belly starts to lift. Take a couple more breaths right here and just marvel in that phenomenon of how when your feet press, the pit of your belly lifts and engages. If you're not feeling that, maybe soften your knees a little bit more. Okay, now press so much that you feel your hips, all of the muscles in your hips get so strong. And then from here, take another breath in. As you exhale, press your feet down into the mat and just unhinge, come up to standing. Sweep your arms overhead, look up to the ceiling, reach up, breathe in, and then bring your hands into prayer position and pause. Set your gaze on one point in front of you and set the intention for your practice. So 3 times we'll chant Om. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om. Inhale, press your feet into the floor and reach for the ceiling. Then fold to the floor as you exhale all the way down. Inhale, lift up halfway, long, flat back. On the exhale, low plank. And just empty and hover right there in the low plank until your breath is gone. Then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. That's it. 3 breaths here. While you're here, spread your fingers out and squeeze each fingertip into the mat. Then we have 1 more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees and look forward, and then jump up to your hands. When you get there, lift up halfway, and then fold down. Press your feet into the floor, reach up to the ceiling and look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale, long and steady, emptying. Inhale, lift up halfway, low plank, and hold it there until your breath is gone. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. So now we want to really know that our breath is so robust that from the room, we're connecting to every room at home, and from home, we're connecting to the room here. 1 more inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Lift up halfway, fold down. Press your feet into the mat, stand up, stretch back, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, drop to the low plank on the exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and breathe. So we're awakening our breath matched to our movement here. We're awakening ourselves inside of our own awareness and then waking up to other people. Take 1 more breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Lift up halfway, fold down. Press your feet down, stand up, stretch way back. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift up halfway, drop and hover in the low plank and empty your breath. Now inhale like you're just sucking up the air. Exhale, downward facing dog. As you breathe and wake up, it's a process of building tension, holding it, and releasing tension. Sounds like you all of a sudden are holding your breath. Let's do this together. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward, jump to your hands. Lift up halfway and fold. Chair pose. Sit back and reach your arms up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, drop into the low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Warrior 1, reach up and breathe here. Now just stay right here without moving your eyes. Set them on one spot, keep breathing, and then just start using and moving your feet without even looking. Press the back edge of your back foot into the mat until your back knee straightens and you feel like you could squish a little ant under that back edge of your foot. So everybody press the back edge of your back foot. And then keep it anchored like that, but lunge forward and down until there's a new fire in your back hip. Stay with this. Adam, straighten your back knee more. Chuck, straighten your back knee more. Peter, yours too. 1 more breath in, reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, and empty. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward and lunge. Arms overhead and breathe here. So you have this opportunity to get your feet. Press the back edge of your back foot down, Erica. Press the back edge until your arch lifts and your back knee straightens. Yes, David, just like that. Keep your foot anchored. These feet and back legs look amazing. Now just ease down into the deep forward lunge. Go down deeper, 2 more inches deeper until your right hip is on fire. It's on fire. Okay, then we're ready. Inhale, reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Let's move this breath. Inhale, exhale. 2 more, breathe in, squeeze the floor with your hands, breathe out. Get ready, inhale. On the exhale, bend your knees, jump to your hands, halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, sit and reach, inhale, fold to the floor and empty your breath. Halfway lift, drop to the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, right foot forward, a long stride. Now anchor your back foot and go low in the lunge. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left side step. Anchor and press your back foot, then lift. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and breathe here. You might need to take a sigh and just clear your breath, clear your thinking. 2 more. Start squeezing the floor with your fingertips. Get ready. Take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees and look, then jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, fold. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, right foot steps. Inhale, reach your arms up, hands to the floor, chaturanga, empty your breath. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, step your left foot. Then inhale, reach your arms up, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, and breathe. I was talking to a few of you yesterday, and someone shared that they watched a video of a class that they practiced in. And then they got so interested in watching themselves and discovering what's actually happening in their practice, and were so surprised to realize they could lunge deeper. So just imagining that was you for this last round of sun salutations. Take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees and look, then jump. Halfway lift. Fold. Squat deeper than you ever have and reach. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right foot forward. You got to go right into it and get down until your thigh is parallel to the floor. Reach up. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Then the left side step. Lunge until your thigh is parallel to the floor. It's lower than you think. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. That's it. Now take a deep breath in and let a sigh come out. Raise your right leg into the air, bend your knee and flip the pose over. 2 feet to the floor. Maybe at first reach your right arm for the ceiling and press your left hand into the ground. Reach to the ceiling with your right arm until you get light and lifted out of your left shoulder. You got it. Press down, rise up out of your shoulder. 1 more breath, and then side plank. Put your right hand to the mat, face the long left side of your mat, and reach up. Same concept in your arms here. The hand on the floor can really press down, fingertips squeeze, and then you reach for the ceiling and look to the ceiling like you're going to float up to the ceiling. Stay here and breathe, and then do one more thing. Move your arm bones to the back of your body so that across your collarbones, David, that was exactly it. Yeah, it gets broad. 1 more breath, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Every single breath and every single pose is an opportunity to discover and go to your edge and breathe right there. Raise your left leg into the air, bend your knee and flip the pose over. So keep your right hand on the ground. That's it, Jen. You got it. Keep going. Keep your right hand on the ground. Yep. And now reach up for the ceiling. Press down and rise up out of that shoulder, Charlie. If you've got the wheel and you want to reach to it, reach to it. Adam, press down more and come up out of your shoulder if you can. Stay right here. Take another breath in. Another breath out. Come out of the shoulder like that. Side plank. Left hand to the mat. Face the long right side of your mat. Stack your feet up and reach up. That's it. Awesome shoulders, Laurel. Press down. Reach up. Once you get light in your shoulders, Kyle, move your arm bones now to the back of your body. Yes, just like that. I see it in your body too, Adam. One more breath. Float to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward for crescent lunge. This is another one of those poses where it's like not where you think it is. When you get into your pose, move forward in the lunge until your heel stacks on top of your toes in the back and power up your back leg totally straight. You'll feel so much stretch in the front of your left hip. Then you can reach up like you're pulling yourself up out of your deep legs and back. Angie, come forward a little more. Don't move your feet, just lunge more. Yes. Now stay in your legs. Pull yourself up out of your legs and back. Hands to prayer position, twist toward the right. Put your left elbow on your right knee. Once your elbow is braced on your knee, in your lower left abdomen, just like you're sucking in your guts, pull your abdominal muscles into your body and up to your chin until your pelvis tilts up to your chin a little bit. You'll notice it in your lower back. You can open your arms, half bind the pose, or fully bind the pose. You got it, Laura. I'll go for that. Yep. Even if they don't quite connect. Jen, take your arm around behind your back. Yes. So let's stay here for one more inhale. End its whole exhale. Then reach up, crescent lunge. Turn to the left side of your mat for warrior two. So you'll just point your toes forward and bend your knee right over top of all 5 toes. Yeah, for many of you, you just want to move your knee back a little more to your baby toe because it's dropping to your arch. And then go low in the pose. Really stand in your back leg until you feel your back inner thigh stretching. Then pull your belly in and lift it up. Stretch your arms apart and tilt for extended side angle. Create each breath and each pose, every movement, like you're totally alive. So if there's any dull part in your body right now, deepen it, stretch it, reach for it. Go low, Charlie, by bending your knee. 2 more breaths by straightening your back knee. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Doesn't that feel good? Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, crescent lunge. Let it be whatever it is. And then from what you feel, start to build it. Come forward in the front leg more than you think you should. And then really straighten the back leg. You'll feel your whole front right hip wake up. Once you've got those deep, deep legs, pull yourself up out of your body. That's it. Reach up and go back. Lift up and go back. Then hands to prayer. Twist toward the left. So right elbow to your left knee. Even here, you can move your arm bones to your back and get this broadening across your chest and upper back. Take your arms wherever you will, and then while we hold this pose for 3 more breaths, breathe into and broaden your chest and upper back. That's it, Chuck. 2 more. You got 1 more. Stay for the exhale. Inhale right up to the crescent lunge. Turn to the left, warrior two. So you bend your right knee and point it and your toes forward. You can even pick up your back heel and swing it out. So put the weight in your big toe and swing it out. Yeah, for all 3 of you. And lunge deep and low. Be sure you're also standing in your back leg. If you're not sure, just concentrate on your back foot and press into the back edge of it. Then tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling. Sam, lunge deeper. Yeah, right there, but reach now. Keep the deep legs, but reach for the ceiling. So while your legs are deep, your torso has this light lifting quality. Keep breathing. Lunge a little more. And then this is what reaches just like that. Lunge deeper. Yep, 2 more breaths. Big, deep lunge. Last breath. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga, good work. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a breath and a sigh. Then squeeze the mat with your fingertips. Take a breath in. On the exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold, chair twist. So chair pose, hands to prayer, twist to the right. Anchor your elbow on your right thigh. So it took something to get your elbow to your thigh, and now we build with whatever we have. You might take a peek down at your feet. Ideally, they're parallel to one another, whatever distance works for you. Then I would advise putting some pressure forward into the big toe of your right leg and back into the heel of your left leg. It'll even your legs out more. You can open your arms, half bind your arms, fully bind your arms. You got it. Wrap your arm behind your back. 3 breaths here, sit deep. Yep, chest up, sit deep. You've got 1 more. Reach up, Jenna. That's it, Adam. Forward fold and hang. Adam was doing scissors, side scissors. Open your feet hip width distance. Hook your big toe with your middle and index finger and stretch your chest down to your toes. Shake your head out. Let the weight of your head just hang down. Then release your toes. We'll do the chair twist to the left. So if you wonder what Adam was doing when he was doing side scissors, you'll want to start with your feet together, hands to prayer and twist. You'll then have to squat down so your hips are down near your heels and you're really twisted. Put your hands on the floor like you do for crow pose or chaturanga. Then lean your weight into your fingertips and lift your feet up behind you. This is side crow pose. If you want to take it further, straighten your bottom leg forward and your top leg back. Like spaghetti noodle legs won't do the job in that. 2 more breaths. Sit deep. Last breath. Sit deeper. Then reach up chair pose. Forward fold. Feet hip width distance. Slide your palms under your feet from the front so you're standing on your hands. And then just shake your head out and let it hang. Just let yourself fill your body up with breath and let all of that breath go. Consider it like a cleansing right here in the practice. A cleansing that is replenishing. 1 more breath. Then crow pose. So you can take crow, handstand hands on the floor, knees on the outsides of your armpits, and you'll tilt forward. You can keep it really wide and take a wide leg crow pose if you like. That works really nicely. Activate your toes. It has everything to do with you being able to balance. You can do this. Give it a try. Tilt forward. 3 breaths here. Every time you exhale, press into the floor. On this last one, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take just 1 breath in. Exhale and look forward. Jump to your hands. Halfway lift. Fold. Roll up to standing and sweep your arms overhead. Right side eagle pose. Wrap your right arm under. Squat. Right leg high over your left thigh. See if you can tuck your toes behind your calf muscle. And then eyes on one point. So some days it's easy to balance and other days it's not there, and it has nothing to do with how good of a yogi you are. It's just the way it is that day. Work with whatever's showing up. Steady breath. Keep your steady gaze and switch sides. Left arm is the underneath arm, left leg over top leg, and squat. You want to set this pose up so that your upper back is getting a really nice stretch. If that's not what you're experiencing, deepen the wind of your arms or lift your elbows a little higher or press your fingers away from you more. And then step out. Hug your right knee into your chest. You can continue holding your right knee or hold your foot or big toe and extend your leg forward and stand tall. Yep. Eyes on one point. Stay right here and deal with whatever has shown up in your body. Keep your eyes on one point, and as you breathe, start to relax your shoulders. Start to get this opposite quality of stability from a foot pressing down and your head lifting up. And then let your body get really lean and light, like a quality of a proud quality in your chest. One more breath. Hug your knee into your chest. Airplane pose. So open up as much as you can and then tilt. So shoulders back. That's it, Ruben. Shoulders to the ceiling there. Here, as you press your foot into the floor, just really put your attention to that. You'll feel the lift up in the pit of your belly. You can control every pose from your feet, and that's true right here in this pose. So press down with your big toe, and you'll experience the pit of your belly lifting. Stay with it, hands to prayer position, half moon, left fingertips to the floor, right arm to the ceiling. Breathe here. Pick a new spot, left hand down, right under your shoulder. I know your hips might get a little tired. Lift your back leg up high. Kyle, can you straighten your back leg? Erica, really stretch and you'll have your balance. If you'd like, you can bend your top knee and reach back and catch your top ankle with your top hand. Then chest open. 3 more breaths. Stay with it, Angie, even if Harold falls on you. 2 more breaths. Last one. Forward fold and hang. Now just sway from side to side. See, at home, you don't have to worry about Harold falling on you. Let's come up to standing and do the other side. Hug your left knee in your chest. Keep your breath flowing. If you lose track of your breath, just start again and join in with the rest of the room. Hold your toe or hold your foot and extend your leg forward. You can hold it with 1 hand or 2 hands. It's up to you. 2 hands is a little more challenging in the flexibility. Press down and stand up tall. Then open up and move into airplane pose. Pick a spot for your gaze that's a little forward of straight down. A little more forward. Take your arms a little more forward, maybe to the mat in front of you. That's it. So that across your chest there's a broadening. You got it. Eyes in one place. It'll help you balance. Press down with your big toe so you get lighter and lifted. Hands to prayer. Keep with the poses. Breathe. Right hand down, left arm up. Now activate your lifted foot like it's pressing into the wall. Hug the pit of your belly in and then keep on breathing. 3 more breaths. Concentrate on elongating the exhales. We'll bring a calming quality. 1 more. Forward fold and hang. Press down, rise up, stretch up. Drop your right arm behind you. Hold your ankle or your shin right underneath of your ankle. And then press into a point where the front and back stretch is where you're feeling this opposition, that you reach as much as you can in those 2 different directions. And then take a sigh and just drop your right shoulder back a little more. You'll feel it from your ear, through your neck, your shoulder, through your elbow, to your wrist, to your hand in the back. And once you have that tension from front fingertips to back, keep it, and then just drive your standing foot down and your kicking foot up. That's it. Keep going for it. If you get just stuck right there, next time a little different placement of your hand. You got it, Lindsay. Press. 1 more breath. Come on out. We'll switch sides. Maybe take a second to put your feet on the floor. I always feel like if I don't need a second here, I probably didn't do the work while I was in the pose. That's like your test. Left shoulder back. Hold your ankle from the inside. So if you always grip your ankle or your foot, put your hand below your ankle on your shin. And then get the forward and back stretch. If you don't need to stretch your arm to its maximum, then you need to kick more until you can stretch more, until you can't hold anything back, that you are so at the edge of your comfort zone. Once you're there, kick down and kick up as well. Maybe an exhale to just let your back shoulder go. 1 more time, let your back shoulder go. Kick up. Right there. Every time it goes, you kick up. That's it. Stay with it for 5 more breaths. 5. Oh, Chuck. Keep going. Just because Chuck came out doesn't mean everybody else has to. Okay, 1 more breath and come on out. I feel like that's a lost cause, those last couple breaths. Feet on the floor and hands on your hips. Let's do another set. We have enough time. I mean, you're already there. Let's do the next one. Reach back with your right hand and hold your right ankle. This pose is one of the best ones in the whole sequence. You spend so much time warming up for it, and it completely restricts the flow of blood and air on one side of your torso. And then when you come out, there's this amazing flush. So if you're hanging in the pose and it's casual, drive your foot up. You've got it. Keep breathing and pressing. Now drive your foot back and then up to the ceiling. And next time we're going to hold a little lower on your shin, okay? Press down, press up. That's it. Pressing back and forward, down and up. All right, step out. Let's do the other side. So take your hand, this next one, off of your ankle and down on your shin. It should feel a little awkward and a little low. If you're ready for the pose to go somewhere else, you feel like you're at your max, move your hand down a little lower, a little more awkward here, but then when you press way into the pose, you have so much more space. So try your hand lower and more awkward. Angie, you can go lower next time. That's it. Breathe here. Activate your kicking foot. Let your shoulders go behind you if you can. Just stay with it. Get curious about it for 3 more breaths. Danielle, you need to be lower on your shin in the future, okay? Last one. Step out, feet on the floor. See, that was worth it, taking that extra round. Tree pose. Stand on your left foot. Bring the sole of your right foot to your left inner thigh. Hands to prayer position. Here's where you can rest. Rebalance yourself. So set your gaze and breathe. Be in the pose wherever it's right for you. And if you're doing prayer position, just concentrating and pressing your right hand into your left hand and your left hand into your right hand. That's all you have to do. Right hand into your left hand into your right hand. And then switch sides. Put your right foot down and pick up your left foot. And then acknowledge how incredibly powerful you are to create an instant transformation in your own self. By just concentrating your gaze on one spot and a steady breath, and then just focusing on right hand into my left, left hand into my right. Right hand into my left hand into my right. You can calm down your whole system just by doing that, by grounding yourself. Take another breath with the intention to ground yourself. And then step out. Come to the front of your mat. At the front, inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Lift up halfway. Drop into the low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward into triangle pose. So a long stance, like super too long. Fingertips on the floor behind your front ankle. If your knees lock, soften them a little. And then lift the pit of your belly into your body, like you're drawing below your belly button, the front pelvis area, into your lower back, until your front inner thigh feels long and lean, and your left lower back feels long and lean. Now, as you reach to the ceiling, just broaden your chest and upper back. That's it. And if you can take your hands behind you on your block or floor a little more, do that. Strengthen, more fortification in the pit of your belly. Then just drop your head back. That's it. More pit of the belly. More feet. Drop your head back further. Look for the person behind you. More pit of the belly. Now you're going to have to take a leap of faith here. Exhale and drop your head back. Look back. Nice. Come up to standing. Turn to face the long left side of your mat. Lift your chest up high, forward fold. Organize your feet so that they're parallel to the sides of your mat, and walk your fingertips across the floor in front of you until you get to this place where you can ease your hips back behind your heels and create on the belly side of your body, from your palms to your hip creases, a deep stretching. So right underneath of you, palm to hip crease, stretching. While you're here, just breathe and expand your ribs. A little bit of space, one between the first rib and the second one. A little bit of space as you breathe. and come up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. For standing, single leg forward fold, or you can take the splits, even if you're not a person that does splits. In fact, let's just all do that. Come down on your back knee. Your front foot, point your toes up to the ceiling. So no toes out to the side. Toes up to the ceiling. You can even soften this knee. Then hands on the floor on either side. Blocks could be nice for some people. Then you can maybe just take your back knee back an inch and just see what you see and breathe here. Take it back another inch and see what you see and breathe. Then walk your hands back a little bit and just lift the pit of your belly. There's a quality of sucking your front leg back and your back leg forward. Just breathe here. We'll take 5 breaths. Just keep your gaze set. Let the undersides of your leg, your front leg open, the front of your left hip open. If you notice that your belly, your lower belly is just completely relaxed, hug it in. It must be about the 5th breath. Take one more. Then hands to the floor. Keep them on the floor and swing your leg around behind you. Downward facing dog. Bring your left foot forward. Triangle pose. Long, long foundation here. So lots of length between your feet. Keep your breath flowing as you build the pose. If your feet are where they always are, go a little longer. Go way longer, Jen. That's right there. Now 2 straight legs. Breathe here. Yes, Jenna, take that back bend. And also Anne and Jane and Allison and Steph and Jen at home. A lot of length. Everyone press the ball of your front foot's big toe down. Really concentrate on that pressing. Press your big toe down for everybody, the big toe, the knuckle of it. Then lift the pit of your belly. Drop your head back. More belly. Drop your head back. Look for the wall behind you, the poster behind you. Take an inhale. Drop your head back. More space. Yes, look at that. Look for that poster on the wall behind you, David. Inhale. One more. Big sigh. Drop your head. Okay, come on up. That was really good. Face the long right side of your mat, arms around behind you and interlace your fingers. Or if you find you get into the forward fold and your hands they don't really go anywhere, your shoulders are tighter than that, hold a strap or a towel so that you can spill your hands overhead and go ahead. Even if you do find that when your hands are interlaced and you take this fold, you get some movement in your shoulders, it still can be beneficial to try it instead with the strap, and you'll get a different kind of movement in your shoulders. Just stay with your knees into your chest, Angie, and flex your feet. You got it. Now lift the pit of your belly so you get light. You don't even have to move your legs, so that there's a sense of all the weight is out of your head and in your feet. Okay, come on up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat for the splits on the left side. So bring your right knee down, turn your left toes up, fingertips to the mat, and breathe here. A quality of pulling your left hip back. So it's like it's pulling back out of your heel, and your right hip goes forward, and breathe there. And then see about moving your knee back a little bit. Your right knee can go back. And breathe. A block underneath of your left hip can be a nice tool, and keep breathing. You might feel it in your calf muscles, the back of your knee or hamstrings. Find a spot, and before that spot opening up. That's it. Just stay with it, lifting the pit of your belly. One more breath. Hands to the inside. Swing your left leg around behind you. Come down to your belly on the mat. Locust pose. Arms out to the side. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. So all 10 of your toes, press them into the ground so that your toes aren't turning out and heels in, but your toes are straight down. And make it so that your legs are so strong that all that there is left to do is expand your chest. And just breathe. Across the back of your pelvis, there should be some ease and some width, some lifting of your abdominal muscles. Take another breath, and then just relax down. You can turn your head to one side or the other and relax. And then we'll take the next pose. We'll take floor bow. Bend your knees and flex your feet. Reach back and hold your shins under your ankles and roll your shoulders back. Press your shins back and have that drag you up. Breathe. So knees only hip width distance. And then some attention to the knuckle of your big toe, that it's what's pressing up. Yep, there you go, Danielle. Good, Amanda. Come on down. You can wave your feet from side to side. And we'll do a second set. Set up the second set, or if you're doing one side at a time, switch the sides. Now start with your knees close together. So the default here is to make your knees go really wide, and then the whole thing presses into your lower back. So we want the knees pretty close. Kick back and up. Breathe here. You can just peel your baby toes open toward the floor. There you go, Ruben. Keep on breathing, kicking back, and kick up. Every now and then in the pose, maybe take a sigh and see what else there is. One more breath. Come on down, feet side to side. Then upward facing dog. Upward facing dog, all the way up, downward facing dog. Come down on your knees. Lean forward onto your hands and take the weight out of your toes. And then turn your toes under. Fold them like you do in Chaturanga, the push-up. And then once they're as folded as they can be, lean back into the balls of your feet and just pick your toes up and spread them out so you get as much toe on the floor as is possible. And let your knees drop down to the ground. You can reach your arm overhead and then down your back. It might be helpful to have a strap in your hand and then reach up your back with your left arm and hold hands or hold a strap. So to stay in this toe stand, you can sit your hips down onto your toes and onto your heels, and if your toes are dying, like you're sure they're going to break off of your feet, then you could come up. But try to stay here. Set your gaze on one point. Let your rib cage just settle into your body. And breathe. Just concentrate and breathe. Keep on breathing, lifting the pit of your belly. That's it. Some steady exhales. I hear that. This last one. Okay, come on up. Lean forward. Just shake your feet out. Point your toes. Put the tops of your feet on the mat. Walk back and sit on your heels. So for some, you may have your weight forward. Others may support your weight. You may be able to lean back. And then still others, you might be able to peel your knees off the ground and stretch the tops of your feet and toes. It feels like good and bad at the same time. Yeah. Peter's like, no, nothing's good. Okay, come back down. Second time, turn your toes under. Really spread out your toes. So if you found that you had a better access by lifting your knees and spreading your toes out, do that. Knees on the ground. Now it's the left arm overhead and down your back. Right arm up your back. And hold hands or use the strap. If you're using the strap, the way to get like a nice amount of tension in your shoulders, because you don't want this to be a really easy grip on the strap. Like, if it's just kind of here, that's really nothing. Take it to the side. Hold on. Now my body's on the flow of this. Yeah. You want to just get to the side and get it tighter so that you can have as much tension between the two hands as is possible. And if you're not using a strap but you're holding hands, your hands are barely hanging on. Just use the strap. Now you're still sitting on your heels and stretching your toes. Steady breath. Let your toes be like this point of focus. And don't let it distract you from the focus. So you feel what you feel, your eyes set on one point, and just breathe. Just a couple more breaths. See if you can calm yourself through your breathing. Long exhales are the key. Try a couple more. Maybe a sigh if your mind is getting in the way. One more. Okay, come on up. Downward facing dog. You don't have to do as many wheel poses now that you worked your feet so much. Jump through, sit down, and roll onto your back. Now your feet are going to do incredible things because you've done this work with them. On your back into bridge pose. Every part of your body craves aliveness and vitality. So our practice is to keep waking up the dull parts with any of our 3 practices and techniques. It's the point of our whole 6-week transformation is to discover where in our body and our life we're just dull and wake it up. So right here, if it's your feet, wake them up. If it's your legs working, wake them up. Then fingertips to the ceiling, flex your wrists, hands on the floor deep under your shoulders and set them wide. Take a breath. Then press down and rise up into the wheel pose. If your shoulders are very strong or you think that they're very tight, set your hands wider. Come on back down, knees side to side. So you've got whatever you got, and that's exactly what we need to work with today. Let's set up the next one. Hands and feet on the floor, press down and rise up. Just get up there, not because you have to, and it's a task you have to check off in your yoga practice, but because you want to discover. Be in this pose from the position of discovery. So just let your head hang, press your hands and feet down. Okay, come on down. Knees side to side. We're going to do one more. Get ready. Hands, feet on the floor. Press down, rise up. All the way up. This is the last one. So get up into the pose, work with what is, breathe 5 breaths. Activate your feet, look for whatever is dull in your body, bring breath to it, intention to it. Finish your last breath, and then come on down, Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together, knees out wide. You can set your gaze on one point on the ceiling maybe above you, and inhale. And exhale. Then dead bug pose. Hug your knees into your chest. Hold the outer edges of your feet. Just rock from side to side. Sometimes I'll really curl my tail up more, and then rather than it being so much in my lower back when I'm rocking, I want it more in the muscles down the length of my spine in the middle. So look for a spot in your back that when you're rocking side to side, it just brings relief. Then 2 legs up in the air. We'll start by warming up the middle, so your ankles straight over top of your hips. Curl up and reach for your big toes. So you want to flex your feet so your big toes are accessible, and curl up as high as you can, but keep your feet on top of your hips. Now, every time we exhale, it's a percussive, and you bring your fingertips to your toenails. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, just deepen your abs. Go for 10. 9, very little movement otherwise, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Then legs back up in the air. Let your right leg hover over the floor. In fact, lift your head and let's flex your feet. Look at your toes, and ideally your feet are not turning out to the sides. They're pointing one straight up to the ceiling, one straight behind you. Then curl up and even look at your belly and take a breath in. And as you exhale, just sink your abdominals deep down and pin them to the back of your spine. Now from hip to hip, bottom rib to bottom rib, stability. Inhale. As you exhale, curl up and with your right fingertips, try to touch your left toenail. Do that 10 times. Right fingertips, left toenail for 10, 9. Really slow. Use your exhale. 8. 7, a percussive exhale just activates your core muscles. So breathe out and lift up. 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees. So Joseph Pilates is like the master of the core. And Joseph Pilates said, you should really never need to do 10 of any exercise. If you do it right, like 5 should kill you and be the work. So let's try the other side. What would doing it, quote, right consist of? It would be toes straight up to the ceiling. And then you could imagine, just like Harold, somebody's pressing against the arch of your foot, and you have to press against it. So then curl up, left fingertips to your right baby toe, and keep curling. Go 10, 9. Keep pressing, Harold. 8, 7, 6. I'll share the joy. 5, big toe, Angie. Press my leg. 4, 3, Press. 2. Yes. 1. That's your midline. Rock back and forth and through to downward facing dog. It's the best though when you get connected like that. You're so powerful at the end of practice. Right leg forward to half pigeon pose. The degree to which you square your shin to the short front edge of your mat is the intensity in the pose. So less square, less intense. More square, more intense. And then Laurel, knee right in front of your hip. So not over there toward Lindsay and Jen, but yes. Back toes turned under. This pose too has a quality of pulling close like the split did and the crescent lunge did. Jen, bring your knee to the right so you're not sitting over on your hip. But if like the bird is looking down, we see both, yes, sides of your hips level. And breathe. Yep, you got it right there. Fold. So a steady breath and a steady gaze even here without losing a beat of your breath, just switch sides. Really purposeful. Eyes on one spot, just move your body parts and be in the pose again. Fold and breathe. So this practice can serve you for your whole entire life, continually revealing new mysteries of your body, new pockets of power you had never experienced and tapped into before. But consistency and regularity, those are first. And then always coming to every breath and every pose with curiosity. So put yourself in the way of the pose. Get into a place where there's an intensity where it belongs to be. And then you breathe and get curious with how your breath changes the pose, your experience in the pose. Marvel at how you resist and give in. Learn from that discovery. Something new about yourself that, when known, empowers you in every new situation. Sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around and roll onto your back. Legs straight up in the air or overhead for plow pose. I usually never miss the plow pose because I just always need the stretch in my neck and upper back. I usually don't ever even go to the shoulder stand because I just need the stretch in my neck and upper back. I will, though, often reach overhead from my feet and bring my knees to my shoulders or rest them on my forehead as I just work on keeping my feet in true north alignment, and as a result get this really incredible opening in the back of my pelvis. See what we've got going on over here at home. Nice. So wherever you are, you can start to bring yourself through the finishing stages of the pose. So if it's shoulder stand to the plow, to the deaf man's pose, ultimately to your back. If you're already on your back in waterfall pose, it's hugging your knees into your chest. Ultimately, we're looking for everyone to have their knees into their chest. So take like 5 more breaths to get to the point where your knees are hugging into your chest. Now, hopefully at home you've learned to prepare your space with a cold eye towel. You're welcome. Come all the way onto your flat back. Once you're there, drop your knees to the left and look to the right. Put your body in a really supportive way and then take a breath in and let a sigh come out. And switch sides. A breath in and a sigh out. Then Supta Baddha Konasana. So on your flat back, soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Once you're here, inhale and exhale. You have a cold eye towel near you in the studio. You're welcome to place that over your forehead and eyes. Then stretch your legs out long into Shavasana. Arms out wide, palms facing up to the ceiling. Once you're here, inhale. And let a sigh come out through your mouth. And while you do that, just let the weight of your whole body settle into the floor. Give yourself this opportunity to just be present in the wonder of the really incredible body that you do move around the world in every day. How strong you are and how able you are. The capacity you have for healing, physically, emotionally, your resilience. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Inhale. As you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes. Maybe roll your head from side to side. Then hug your knees into your chest. Roll to your side. Bring yourself up into a sitting position. Make yourself comfortable. Once you're seated, inhale and sweep your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and just pause here. Take a moment to feel what you feel as a result of your practice. And set an intention from here for the rest of your day. Then 3 times we'll chant Om together. Take a breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead and just pause for a moment and offer yourself some words of gratitude for your bravery and willingness to show up and take yourself on, to be curious breath to breath and discover something new. Then inhale and exhale through your mouth. We'll just bow to one another and say namaste. Thank you. Thank you to everyone at home. And then consider joining me for the 40 days. It's not a 6-week transformation about whether your jeans are tight or not. It's more of a 6-week transformation about whether your mind is tight inside of your skin. Discover new space. So I'll see you next time. Thank you, Alyssa and Jane and Adam. Erica, bye. Kyle, say hi to Carly. See you, Anne. Bye, everyone at home. See you next time.